Hi everybody, I'm Carl from thewhiskeycompanion.com, a place where you can go for whiskey tools, news and reviews all in one place. Check out the link below. Welcome back to another Whiskey Overviews. For those that don't know, Whiskey Overviews is a video series where we look at whiskey from all around the world, give you tasting notes, availability, background of the distillery and the brand, and whether it's worth your hard-earned money or not. Today, we're looking at a staple in Irish whiskey called RedBreast, and it's specifically the 12-year-old version in the core range. So the 12-year-old RedBreast was re-released in 1991 under Pernod Ricard. It is a 40% whiskey. It's in and around 55 to 60 euros, 40 pounds thereabouts, and $50 to $60 depending on where you are in the States. It's a single pot still whiskey. That means that there's it meets the graphical indicator specification of at least 35% malted barley and at least 35% unmalted barley and no more than 5% of other grain. It is then aged for 12 years in a mix of ex-bourbon barrels and sherry barrels, and then it's married together on a large scale and bottled. So where did the RedBreast come from? RedBreast was originally a Bonders brand under Gilbey's. They used to be a wine merchant in the UK. They moved over to Dublin, or into Ireland, should I say, and they had about 300,000 litres of whiskey in the 1870s. And they would then take that whiskey that they got from John Jameson, age it for about 6 years in their own sherry casks, and then they would sell it rebranded as RedBreast. Gilbey's owned that production for the guts of nearly 100 years, I suppose. When Jameson decided, and Middleton, I suppose, when Jameson decided to, and Irish distillers decided to become one and move everything down to Cork, they also decided to move everything in-house. So that would be bottling, aging, branding, all under one roof. So they started that process in the 1960s, and that was kind of the beginning of the end for the Bonders. So in the late 60s, Irish distillers decided to stop supplying Bonders with the distillate. Gilbey's was one of the Bonders that they decided to keep an agreement with and keep supplying them with whiskey. Up until 1971, Gilbey's was getting its new make distillate from Jameson in Bow Street Distillery, just like it was for the last 100 years. As Bow Street closed, the distillate was coming from Cork, then from the Middleton Distillery in Cork. Then in 1985, they came to an agreement with Irish distillers that they would sell their brand to them, and that Irish distillers could use that branding, and they eventually relaunched in 1991 with the RedBreast 12-year-old. So in the core lineup for RedBreast, you have the RedBreast Lustau, the RedBreast 12-year-old, RedBreast 12 cask strength, RedBreast 15, 21, and the brand new 27-year-old. So there is a kind of clear progression there for the different ages. So if you do like one of the expressions and you just want to kind of, spend little bit more, get something a bit more for a special occasion, you have that option then for going for the different levels and the different ages. So they're all at various different price points. You kind of start out at 55, 60 quid for the 12-year-old. You're looking at about 90 euro for the 15, 140, 150 for the 21, and then the 27 is 500 euro, or 475 I think it is, thereabouts. So let's get into tasting this. I have this little sample that I got from Distilled Live, and I hear that they're planning on doing a Distilled Live 1.2. So if they do that, I would definitely recommend it. You get like 10 or 12 different samples, and they're like little 35ml samples, and you get to talk to people from the distilleries or from the brands, like the brand ambassadors, I suppose, and they'll tell you all about the whiskey and give you tasting notes, that sort of stuff, and it's all done online through Zoom, and it was very well done, I have to say. So if they do it again, I would definitely recommend it. It was quite good value as well for the tickets. So this one here. Okay, yeah, you get a lot of the sherry influence on the nose. So you get like raisins, you get plums, a lot of dark fruits that you'd usually find in sherry. You can definitely smell the dryness from it as well, like how a sherry would dry out your mouth, like a dry sherry. Mm. You do get some like chocolate notes off of it as well, like dark chocolate or cocoa. But that's, yeah, it's really nice. Let's give it a try. Okay, so it's only a 40% whiskey, so you don't really get much of the alcohol spice off this, and the sherry really does round off the edges for this whiskey. It doesn't bite you or anything like that. It's very inviting. It's very, for want of a better word, it's very smooth. It really coats the tongue in like an oily consistency. You kind of get that shortbread cookie kind of note that's talked about for a lot for single pot still Irish whiskey. Very sweet, like extremely sweet, and you do get, like, it does dry out the mouth from that sherry, and it's just packed with fruits. Like you can get raisins in that, you can get plums, dates, like even that sort of stuff, and like it's a definitely one of those Irish whiskies where if you don't like Irish whiskey, you'll have to try this one, and it might convert you. That it's that sort of whiskey, you know. Mm. Like the finish is very short and mild. It doesn't really hang around, but it does dry out the back of your mouth with that cherry note, and it's more of a sweet dryness, if that makes any sense. But yeah, like is a fabulous whiskey. Is it worth 60 quid if you're in Ireland? I'd say yeah. I know it used to be kind of 40 quid, 45 quid, which obviously would have been a lot better, but the taxes in Ireland are ridiculous for alcohol. But even at 60 quid, it's a huge step up from the likes of your normal Jameson, from Jameson Crested, from like Bushmills, anything like that. And I hope this helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if this is any use to you. And